Hey guys, it's Sign here with HobbiesofaMan once again, and today we're going to be doing another review video. Today we're going to be doing our Q3 review, quarter 3 review. We're going to be talking about what I've been reading so far this third quarter and what I collected this third quarter. So it's not going to be as intensive or extensive, I think is the right word, as the last review video, mostly because my voice is kind of shot and I don't want to damage my throat too much, but I do want to get these videos out in a timely fashion, so I am going to suffer through it just a little bit. So the first half of this year was very successful, very big, and partially the second half of this or the start of the second half of the year has also been pretty great in terms of buying stuff. I have grown my collection pretty well thanks to my birthday. But my collection has mostly grown in terms of comic books, more so than manga. But there has been some growth in that as well. So I will talk about that. But first, let's talk about our reading kind of review here. So in July, I read 15 comic books. 14 of those were single issues. So I read 2 trades. Then I read 23 manga, where one of them was actually a Korean manhwa. So I'm not going to bother dividing them because ultimately they're all just Asian comic books. And the only real distinction that is necessary here is between Western and Asian in terms of comics. And then in Western comics, there's a further division between European and American, right? But those differences are mostly pedantic and very specific to certain issues. For the broad use of this of the channel, manga just refers to manga, manhwa, like the Chinese stuff, and anything else that I can think of that falls into this category. Light novels also fall here, but I do make a separate note for them here. So, yeah. So that was a pretty good beginning there. In August, I read 20 comic books. 2 of them were trades, so 18 of them were single issues. I read 4 manga. One of them being Korean, which was Business Proposal at this point, and 2 and a third books. So I read book 4 and book 5 of Wheel of Time, and then the first third of the Cole stories. So that is 2.5 books, or 2 1/3 books. And then that is a pretty good portion of stuff there. And then finally in September, I read 16 comic books, 2 of which were trades. So 14 single issues. Then 5 manga, one of them being Korean, and then 0.5 books, so half a book. And in this case, it was actually a fourth of the Lord of Chaos, which is book 6 of Wheel of Time, and then like half of the Conan book. So overall, pretty good reading stats here. That means I read 41 comic book issues in total, or sorry, 41 comics, and 35 of them were single issues, 6 of them were trades. 32 manga, with 3 of them being Korean, so 29 manga and 3 manhwa, and 3-ish books, more or less. So overall, good reading stats here. Nothing too egregious, nothing too bad. The only thing of note here is that I did DNF 1 comic book, which was the what is that series called? It's like an amalgamation of a bunch of things. The Robotech comic book that I said I was going to read at the beginning of September, I DNF'd it because I couldn't get past the first 10 pages. I found it to be really, really boring. And the only thing that I really find to be of value in terms of Robotech is the crazy story of this American company just taking 3 different things and mashing them up into a single book, right? So that's cool, but it's not cool enough for me to be interested in what's going on. The art style also feels very derivative of Leiji Matsumoto in a way that I don't find appealing, especially because it changes very often in the book. So I DNF'd it. It's something I don't really do all that often. I think last year, or last first half of the year, last semester, if you will, I only really DNF'd 1 book, and it was because the writing style was bad. So yeah, that's it for the reading review. In terms of my achievements, I managed to continue collecting Marry a Billionaire volumes, so I got 3 of them. I got volumes 2, 3, and 4, and that means I have 5, 6, and 7 to finish. And 7 doesn't come out until next year, so I'm going to wait until then to collect the rest of it. So that's good. I collected 2 volumes of Walter Coy. One of them was volume 3, and the other was the art book. So I'm only missing volumes 4 and 5, which I've actually ordered from Half Price Books. They're going to arrive here within the next 2 weeks. So by the end of this month, which is in quarter 4, I will have finished collecting Wotakoi, and hopefully I'll have a review of the series by the end of the year. Then I managed to collect 1 volume of Gal Gohan, which is nice. That is a series that I'm very interested in collecting, but I very rarely go out of my way to do so. And the way that I managed to achieve this was by actually forgetting about my rules about buying in sequence. I just bought volume 6 because every time I went to Half Price Books, it was there, and there was a small pile of them, and they were slowly dwindling, and I got a little bit of FOMO, so I ended up buying volume 6 before I really should have. In terms of new series that I started Mandalorian manga. I don't know what to call it. It's like adaptation. I thought it was different from the series, but it's actually more or less a 1-to-1 adaptation of the show. So it might be of interest to you. It might not. It depends on your preferences and your taste, right? So the other day, I bought 1 book from the Kodansha DC crossover. I bought the Batman Justice Buster book. I'm going to read it, but I think I'm not going to collect it because I've noticed that Kodansha made really shitty decisions when it comes to their DC books. They're all really tightly bound, and the paper feels shittier than usual. So I'm not going to pay premium money for a shittier product, especially when this product should be better than usual because it is collaborating with an American company and they should have the best quality available to them. But they seem to not want to do that, and so I'm not going to bother with it. So I bought it at a discount price from Walmart or Target, and I'm going to resell it. And I'm kind of upset about that, but it is what it is. I also bought the first volume of Darwin Accident. I bought Business Proposal, which is nice. Volume 1, I finally read it. I really enjoyed it. And Suara's House of Monsters, which is something I'm going to review here soon. It came out last month. So 2 of these series, or actually 3 of these series, were things that I had been planning on getting at some point anyways. Mando being the only one that I had not planned, with Batman being one that I had not planned because I wasn't aware of, but also one that I'm not going to bother collecting, so there's no point in really mentioning it beyond this, right? And in terms of books I missed The Beginning After the End number 3, Fire Force number 5, The Omnibus, Shine number 3. I could have bought this several times, but I chose not to because every book that I saw had issues with its cover being misaligned, and I don't really want to deal with misaligned covers, so I just wasn't going to bother buying it until I can find a cover that was not misaligned. So whenever that may be, I will get it. I also wanted to buy Heart Gear, but I decided not to because ultimately I have already read it, so there's no real rush for me to buy it. So I'm going to wait until I find it on sale or used to get it because there's no real rush yet for me. I also forgot to pick up Loser Rangers 5 and 6. Again, for very similar reasons as to Shy, I didn't want to deal with bad spine alignment, and so I just wasn't going to bother getting it. I missed 8 and 0 number 24, although I should be able to get that soon. I missed Smasher number 12 because at some point they stopped selling them at Half Price Books after volume 10, so I've not been able to get many of them. I think we're at volume 13 right now. I also didn't get Shine number 4 because if I don't have Shine number 3, I have no reason to have Shine number 4. I also missed Dracula number 1. This is the book by the guy that made Innocent that Viz recently released. I was very excited about this, but the hardcover is the only edition that they have, and it's actually rather expensive for a very thin book, even if it is hardcover. I'm not really interested in buying something like that right now, so I'm going to wait until I can get it on sale. And then Hitomi's Shy with Strangers number 6 recently came out. But when I was going to order it, it actually went out of stock, so I haven't been able to go to a Barnes & Noble's to get a copy of it physically, and I don't know when I will. So I'll probably end up getting a lot of these during the Thanksgiving month because one of my local comic book shops has a sale, and they carry most of these books, right? So that's probably when I'm going to end up getting those books. And so even though I kind of failed in certain ways, I actually managed to succeed a lot because my comic book collection has grown rather exponentially in a way that I find very satisfying, since most of the growth has been focused on getting special edition hardcover collections Most of them happened during my birthday month, so if you guys saw my haul during that time, you're aware of many of them. But I also ended up getting The Last Gods, The Felspire Chronicles Book 1, which is a nice hardcover. It has a cool giant map attached to it as well. I've got the first 2 volumes of the Invincible book. I got the Flintstones, which I ordered at the end of last month, but they didn't arrive until October, so I didn't bother putting them in my September haul, but I will mention them here soon. I started getting into European comic books, so I bought Asterix and Obelix volumes 1 and 2, which collect the first 6 stories. I got Valerian, and I got something else, but I can't remember what it is, and I'm trying to see it here, and I don't think I can. So the thing is that I've been growing my comic book collection quite a bit. I have not been reading it at the right pace, though. I've only been focusing on the single issue comic books, so I'm going to try to change that dynamic here a little bit for myself this next quarter and continuing on to the next year. Right now, I am kind of in a reading slump when it comes to manga, so it's been nice to have more variety available to me in the way of comic books and new books. So overall, very good stuff here. I'm very happy with what I've managed to collect this past quarter, and I'm very curious to see what you guys have been able to collect and what your review for quarter 3 feels like. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys later.